Hi, my name is Jason Wampler. It's 4 a.m. on Saturday, October the something or other. Rent is due in a couple of days. I'm a host of a show called AnAxeToGrind, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. Folks, it makes all the difference in the world. I know my appearance isn't shall I say, as appealing as Brad Pitt's or George Clooney's. But I am a storyteller. I'm an author and writer. In addition to being an aerospace engineer and designer, I wear at least two hats. Something bothers me though. Um, I said I had an axe to grind against Los Angeles Police Department. We're gonna put that one on hold for a while. Um, I'm letting my hair grow out. As you can tell, my forehead is still growing too. Um, in this country, there is no statute of limitations on murder. The death of Natalie Wood has always bothered me, and it never occurred to me. I never had the presence of mind to talk about things that I have an interest in. Now, if I'm going to do a blog, I'm going to talk about things that I feel that I'm interested in, but also it really adds wind to my sails. Um, tell you what, you just can't paint a barn. I see my image, and I'm not really proud of it. Um, Natalie Wood's body was found. It had what looked like bruise marks on her body and on her face, I believe. I haven't researched her death and all the facts surrounding it. It was called an accident. She fell overboard and she drowned in the water. Um, I'm not sure if blood toxicology was performed. Um, Full autopsy. I don't know what the autopsy found. When she passed away, I don't know the dates. I don't know the circumstances, surroundings. And I've got to say, I haven't done much of any research on it. I have done some research on the deaths of other celebrities, and on and the subsequent episodes of An Axe to Grind. You know what, folks? I think I'm going to discuss the mysterious deaths of celebrities, and how I don't quite agree with the present facts and what has been said about their death, including um, Martin Luther King Jr., who's a man close to my heart, Malcolm X, um, Abraham Lincoln, Kurt Cobain, Taylor Hawkins, and Lane Staley. That might be more obvious than others. John Bonham, and there was one other person I was thinking about, though mostly Kurt Cobain, whose death, the circumstances don't add up. Here's what I know about Natalie Wood. She was an established actress in Hollywood. She'd been in several movies. She was a beautiful, beautiful woman, dark brown hair and eyes, just pools of expensive coffee-colored eyes. Natalie Wood was just this most singularly magnificent, beautiful brunette woman. Um, Very smart, very just gorgeous, very, very talented actress, at the top of her game. The facts are this: her death was ruled as an accident, as she fell overboard and she drowned. Um, I don't know the circumstances of what body of water the boat was floating in that she fell off of, whether or not it was high seas, high waves in the sea, if it was during a storm or whatever. What doesn't add up is the fact that she just fell over. Celebrities, they tend to be a little bit more cautious um, than reckless. Celebrities tend to be private. They tend to guard themselves, their privacy, but they tend to take care of themselves and protect themselves because, they're sought after. They're treated like public property, so they're not reckless by nature like normal people who think they're invisible. Or Natalie Woods knew that she was not invisible. She was a high-profile celebrity, so the fact that she just fell over the side of the boat and drowned, um, honest to goodness truth, that just kind of sounds like an oversimplification of what actually happens. And what bothers me is I don't, it doesn't it doesn't seem to me that anybody's made any attempts to investigate the circumstances surrounding her death. And why that bothers me is the fact that if that is the case, that there's some type of cover-up. Somebody's trying to protect themselves, which leads me to my next point. On this episode of AnAxeToGrind, I just want to discuss the things I know about Natalie Wood's death. When her body was found, where it was found, and who was found by, I don't know, but I do know that there are bruise marks on her body and her face. So the drowning doesn't cause that. So the other thing is that the circumstances. I'm sorry, folks. My hair just bugs the daylights out of there. That's at least a little bit better. The circumstances and the type of person she was, and the environment, it just doesn't add up. I'm not the type of person you can lie to. Unfortunately, I don't call people out when they do lie to me. I am somewhat of a coward, but I'm going to speak out on behalf of Natalie Woods, at least her ghost, and give her a voice from beyond the grave and say, after all this time, things don't add up. Here's what I think happened after having given some thought. This is a theory. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But also leave comments. Anybody and everybody who knows more than I do about the facts surrounding Natalie Wood's death, please come forth. Please leave a comment. This is very important to me. Natalie Woods was a beautiful woman. I would have liked to have met her personally, but I think she was before my time. I'm 54 years old. I was born in 1970, of course. I believe, I don't know if she died before or after that. But here's what I think happened. While on that boat, she was involved in some type of argument with somebody that escalated and got physical. She got physical, which was a mistake for any woman to get physical with a man during an argument, because men tend to be bigger and stronger and do more damage, but not always. One thing led to another, and her assailant was the individual who was arguing with her passionately. She hit him or her. He hit back, and he hit her so hard that he knocked her unconscious, or possibly even killed her. Some type of massive head trauma from a blunt force from a very large fist. Guys can hit women hard enough they can kill them with one punch. It's happened before. And my guess is the individual that struck her and knocked her out might have been under the impression that she was dead, or that he or she thought that Natalie Woods was dead, when Natalie was maybe unconscious or in a coma from blunt force trauma to the head. The report doesn't talk about marks on her neck, so I'm not sure if ligature strangulation would have taken place, but that ligature strangulation, being strangled by the neck, that's more premeditated. And it's not really consistent with the markings they found on her body, which looked like bruise marks when they retrieved her body from the water. Well, my guess is she got in a physical altercation, blows were thrown, she got hit in the head so hard it knocked her unconscious or it killed her. The individual, more than likely a male, probably in his late 30s or 40s, athletic build, large fists, maybe knew a little something about boxing. He's a coward. He panicked. He didn't want to go to prison for murder one or involuntary manslaughter. So he or she made the decision to dump Natalie Wood's body over the side of the boat. And when this happened, her body was positioned inside the water in such a way that the water was able to enter her mouth, go down her throat, and fill up her lungs. And that's why the coroner's report, the autopsy, revealed that she more than likely she had water in her lungs, so it was assumed she fell over the boat, and because that was where she was last seen, and she was found in the water, and water was full of it filled up her lungs, so it was just assumed she fell off the boat and she drowned. That is an oversimplified report. I don't know if anybody's bothered to pursue an investigation in anything involving any type of last minute or involuntary foul play. I would call it involuntary involuntary foul play, because you're not expecting to get in an argument with your girlfriend, your wife, or your fiance, and then just, beat the shit out of her and hit her so hard you kill her and then dump her body in the water. That's not this wasn't a planned execution, and it wasn't personal. It was passionate, angry, and it was a spur of the moment. It was just it was an argument that just got out of control and went sideways. Um, and she was killed by somebody who was a coward. Her body was dumped in the water. She was unconscious when she was thrown overboard. When the person threw her body overboard, Natalie Woods was not conscious. She might have even been dead from blunt force trauma to the head, or blunt force trauma to various parts of her body. I don't think that she was strangled, but again, that's a possibility. What doesn't add up is the fact that they found markings on her body. Somebody had hit her. She'd gotten a physical altercation. What else doesn't add up is the fact that she simply fell off the boat and drowned. First of all, celebrities don't take boat trips through rough waters. And the rough waters occur where the incident took place, possibly on the West Coast, during the winter when it's already cold and miserable. And, maybe in places like Nuevo Bay, someplace closer to possibly the border of California and Oregon, rough tossing seas. So the fact that she'd fallen off the boat or slipped because of rough seas, it just doesn't add up. The fact she may have been drunk and she fell off the boat by accident doesn't add up either. Because what about the markings on her face? I just strongly believe that because they found markings on her face, bruise marks, she was the victim of being beat to death or beat unconscious. And then afterwards, her body was tossed overboard, and that was after she lost consciousness. What bothers me about this, and what bothers me about most other the deaths that I'm going to talk about on the next episode of AnAxeToGrind, what bothers me is the fact that it just seems like nobody's tried to pursue this. It's a cold case, but it can't be buried if there's a suspicion of foul play. I don't know if there is any type of case to open up. Maybe the facts surrounding her death are recorded, but if the determination is made as a result of a last-minute form of foul play, unplanned foul play, I don't know how you would call that. Passionate, heated argument you weren't expecting to have that leads to you beating the other person to death by punching him multiple times in the head or punching him so hard in the head, you either put him in a coma or you kill them. So, I wouldn't even know how to define that particular type of incident. If charges would be brought to bear, how would you define those charges? I don't know that either. I'm not a lawyer. I'm kind of barely a storyteller myself. That ankle looks better, but I don't want to hold it up. But it just bugs the daylights out of me. I was watching a movie tonight with Robert De Niro and Zac Efron, along with that nice girl, Aubrey Plaza. And the reason I was kind of ruminating about Natalie Wood's death and how it just kind of half-assed the facts are, is because that's always bothered me, that no one bothered to get their story straight or pursue it any further. Kind of like either nobody cared about Natalie Woods or somebody's trying to cover their tracks and they paid off a few people, keep quiet till those who were in the know grow old and die, as that saying goes. Aubrey Plaza looks a little bit, from certain angles, like Natalie Wood, although I think Natalie Wood was one of the most strikingly gorgeous women who ever graced Hollywood. I'm not in love with her personally, but if I had to pick the most beautiful women in Hollywood, I think there would be Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie, and then of course Natalie Wood, and maybe a very young version of Elizabeth Taylor. Natalie Wood was just absolutely, just strikingly gorgeous with just those just gorgeous, beautiful dark brown eyes, and it just the serious, the soft but serious look. And she's just not the person that I would want to be angry with me. But here I am, so I'm mourning her death. Um, so we're at the 15-minute mark. Time really passes by. It's past 4 o'clock in the morning. I should have been to bed an hour ago. I try to make a vow to myself to get to bed by no later than 3. Then I want to kind of roll that back to 2, and I want to roll that back to 1. My old body always needs 6 hours of sleep. The earlier I go to bed, the more time I have to work in my office before it closes down at night. But that's my problem, not yours. So, just to reiterate one last time, my name is Jason Walter. I'm the host of this show. This show is called An Axe to Grind. I'm talking about the mysterious death of Natalie Wood and the fact that I'm not settled with the fact that it was an accident. I believe this was a result of an unplanned version foul play. And again, I wouldn't know how to define something like that. Involuntary manslaughter, manslaughter 1, like I said, there's no statute of limitations on those. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. In the comments section, I would like you to say anything and everything you want. If you want to criticize me, that's fine. I welcome all comments. I learn from criticism as well. Good comments, bad comments, but please leave a comment. Be as verbose as you want. You could write a 1,000 word essay if you wanted, and I'll read it and I'll respond to it and I'll talk about it. So leave a comment. Let me know anything and everything that you know about Natalie Wood's death. I would really appreciate it in the comment section. Okay, so we're at the 17-minute mark. I gotta call it because 15 minutes is max before I start losing people's attention. So my name is Jason Wapley. It's been another episode of An Axe to Grind. Talk to you again possibly in a couple days. There are more mysterious celebrity deaths that I would like to talk about. I promise the next one I'll do a little bit more research on, that I have more to talk about. But, in 17 minutes time, I think we have plenty enough to talk about already. All right, you guys take care.